Hi, I'm Chris from Duro. Welcome to another one of our YouTube preview videos. Today we're up at Vango checking out their new range of 2022 tents. So finally, we're back up at Vango headquarters. Obviously we've missed a couple of years because of the pandemic, but now we're back up here. We can't wait to show you 2022's range of tents, so we're going to just jump straight in. Behind me we've got Vango's entry level, and we're just going to run through the different ranges of tents. So behind me we've got Vango's entry level tents, which is the experience range. So the idea with the experience ranges and the fabric is completely obviously waterproof, 3000mm hydrostatic head. It's that 70 denier fabric. Fully taped seams. You'll see it's in this green fabric. It changes in this tent only in the Macala because it's a slightly darker green, but the rest will be in like the herbal. Within the tents we go through, there will be Airbeam versions and poled versions available. With this specific one, it's only available in the poled. They're also completely seam sealed, so you shouldn't get any of the water coming through the seams. Totally obviously fire retardant. And let's just jump into the actual tents themselves. So this is the Macala 450, so obviously meant for that sort of 4-berth tent. This is kind of designed with a lot of ventilation in mind. So if you're traveling to Europe or you're using it for in hotter conditions, the idea of this is you can open it up fully. So it opens up completely at the back. There's a back door that completely opens up, and this front door can be really universal. You can unzip this, make lots of sort of airways through it, so there's lots and lots of ventilation. And on that idea as well, this also comes in a technical cotton version. So in all of our previous videos we've always really hyped technical cotton because it is an absolutely brilliant fabric. The idea with technical cotton is it's breathable, so when it's really hot outside, you walk into the tent and you can actually feel the coolness of it. This is because of the way the fabric's weaved. So the weave is open, it's a natural fabric with a little bit of polyester, so it's cotton with polyester. So the idea is the fabric's got a weave like this. As it rains, it closes up, but as it's sunny or dry, it opens up, so it allows airflow through the actual fabric itself. So the polycotton version, and this is obviously the polyester, the polycotton version of this gives even more breathability, so even better for those sort of European days out if you're in the sun or just generally sort of hot summer days. Macala specifically, this is a toggle down ground sheet inside with the darkened bedrooms and then a divider in the middle with zip runners through here with lots of mesh. And then it's a toggled divider at this range as well. Toggled up curtains throughout it all, and then you have got again a mesh panel in here, and then this door is the closing door with the zips that come down. So quite a clever makeup of the tent. It comes with these king poles to just allow it to be able to pitch up, and this is only available in the fiberglass frame. So even the technical cotton is all fiberglass. So this is the Caron. You'll get just for all the names of everything coming through, but whenever it ends in a 500, that generally signifies the number of people that it fits within the tent. So be as it you will. I mean, this is a 5-person with one single bedroom at the back, but it definitely comes in at a good price point. So I mean, generally this comes in at around about £200, and as a sizable tent for headstanding room, it really hits the budget, and it's a good tent. Fiberglass frame only in this one, with a slightly arched front porch pole, gives it a little bit more height, a bit more stability. The main thing with a dome structure at the back is it does give stability in the wind. Whenever you get poles crossing, that's a point of contact that gives structural stability, so a little bit more stable than those sort of style of fiberglass tunnel tents. You've got again the darkened bedrooms in the back of this, small vent in the back, and then it's just a toggle down ground sheet around the front with then a door that closes down the front. Just see whether or not there is actually the ability to be able to put king poles on the front of this. So no curtains in this either, it's just these smaller windows. And then you have got the little eyelets, so you can pull this out as a nice sort of canopy area to give you some space and some shelter out if it's raining or you want to be able to cook on the outside. Moving on to the Stargroves. So Stargroves 2 is basically all the same fabrics as all of the Experience ranges. This is the fiberglass version in the 450. It also comes in an air version in the 450, and it also comes in an air and poled 6-man, so 650 versions as well. So obviously with the 6-mans you're getting wider, you're getting 3 bedrooms rather than the 2 in this, and so you just got more living space and more sleeping space. These have always been really, really popular with us, purely because they come in at a really good price. The fabrics that they're using are good for what sort of the level that you're going to be using it for. The features on them are again sort of what we need at this level, but just in general they're a really good size. You've got the bedrooms at the back, lounge area, and then a porch area, and then the sort of key thing that we find a lot of people looking for is this door in the porch area. So you've not just got a full close off, so you've got a really good sort of size area that you can, I don't know, if you're coming back from the beach or it's a rainy day and you've got a muddy field and you're coming into your tent and you've got muddy shoes and you want to keep the main area of the tent nice and clean, you can walk through here, you can take all your wet gear off or you take your shoes off, and then you're ending up in the main part of the tent here, and then you've got plenty of space outside to store stuff, to put your cooking stuff, and just sort of keep a nice clean and sort of tidy space on the inside. This is literally the dream style of kind of having the layout of a tent. Again, you've got the darkened bedrooms at the back. They're all, again, at this level, they're all toggled dividers, no zips running through them. That you'll find when these come out of the bag, these will have like the bedroom's not hanging. You can hang them once, and then once you've had them, you can just put it down like that. It's quick and simple. This is also a level where we're getting the TBS, so you're getting tension band. With tension band, when you've got like a tunnel formation, the tension band basically marries up with the guy lines when they're going out as well, and keeps the tent a lot more stable. So when one side pushes against it, the tension is pulled in this band, and then it gives it that extra sort of durability and strength in the wind. This is a fully sewn in ground sheet. You've obviously got a door on this side as well as the front door, and then a window with a toggle up curtain on the other side. This has no mesh, it is just as is, and then you've got a little pop-up sort of lip, so you can peg the ground sheet down so that it's non-trip and easy access through, and then you can toggle it up with a little toggle just here to keep it up. So you've got a lip if it's raining, and you've got the door down. Right, okay, so now moving over to the star of today's show, I would say. Basically, we're moving from the 450 into the 600, but it does look a bit different because obviously it's in technical cotton. But first, we'll just run down the options available in the Stargrove 600. So we talked about the 450. That was available in poled and Airbeam. Now the 600 is obviously the bigger version that we talked about with the 3 separate bedrooms, space for 6 people. But this comes in a pole version in the green Experience fabric, so polyester fabric. It also comes in an air version in this size in the Experience fabric. But it also comes in the technical cotton version. So we talked earlier about the Macala and the technical cotton and the benefits for it. So obviously it's super breathable, really, really durable. I mean, you buy a polycotton tent and it's sort of almost a tent for life. It's like your old type of cotton sort of canvas tent, which just is bomb proof and bulletproof. It's super thick, it's super like durable. Obviously they do need a bit of weathering when you first take them out, just to give the fabric a chance to react to the rain. But once that's through and you've got this tent, personally, I've got a polycotton tent and it is amazing. So you walk in, like I said, on a hot day and you generally feel the coolness compared to a polyester tent. It is amazing. And they just feel so durable, so rugged. They are amazing. And I can't sort of push that point across. And when you put them in an Airbeam, where you're literally just blowing it up, it makes life so easy, so convenient. And I think there's 2 huge factors on this. Firstly, you've got a lot of features that are sort of in a more high-end tent. So for instance, you're already seeing these webbing straps rather than your guy lines on the front, so you've got storm straps on it. Huge doorway with the little support straps on it, so that will completely fall away, so you've got loads of space when it's all open. The technical cotton side of things, and then just extra sort of space in there compared to the 450. And then the main selling point for me on this is the fact that it's 1,200 quid. Like, polycotton tent in this size at £1,200 is an absolute bargain, and that £1,200 also is a bundle package deal, so that's including a footprint and a carpet. So let's move into the tent and have a look at it. So you've got mesh on this front section. Again, lots of airflow through, lots of breathability. This front area doesn't have any curtains as such, so this is totally open. So there may be that, you know, there are a few areas that it has been cut back on a little bit, but this front area, no curtains. However, running into this bit, you do get curtains, and again, like, these curtains are the designed curtains as well, so you're sort of running up a level in the curtain detailing and also the quality of the fabric. They are all toggle curtains, so there's no zips in these in the curtains, but you know, I mean, at this level and the price you're getting it for, that's sort of something you'd have to just be easy with. You've got a toggle down front flap as well, again, stop tripping, easy access through. All the curtains on these sections, and then moving into the main section, again, curtains on all of these. You've got your TBS running through it. The only other thing I would say maybe about this is that the beams are slightly smaller than some of the bigger polycotton, so they are the 10 centimetre beams, not the 13 centimetre beams, but seeing from, or hearing from first-hand experience of this being up and pitched, it is really stable in the wind, and you can see it how it's pitched now, like how solid it is and how stable it would be. On the sides, you've got a secondary entry and exit in this side. There's no rain safe canopy or anything on it on this side. Perhaps again that might be something you'd get in a sort of slightly more expensive version. And then at the back you've got your darkened bedrooms. Again, these are all toggle dividers, so no zips through them, but you've got all your pockets on the sides, and then your fully sewn in ground sheet running through it as well. I mean, just sort of like a little final word about it, for me this would be a perfect sort of 4 or 5 person family tent, or I mean, even if you wanted to spend a little bit more, if there was just a sort of 2 or 3 of you, but it's great space, really high quality fabric, and just a really durable bargain of a tent. Okay, so we're going to move now from the Experience range of tents, and we're going to jump over into the Sentinel Eco range. So that's Sentinel Experience, this is Sentinel Eco. So the main difference between the two ranges is obviously the fabric. So forget about obviously the polycotton, but the polyester versions of them, this now changes. So the extras you get in this is the fact that you get a colour lock. So the colour lock basically locks in the colour of the fabric, so you don't get that fading of the fabric when it's left out in the sun. This has been like seriously like tested out in huge amounts of UV lights, and it generally doubles the length of life of that fabric and also the actual colour fading of the fabric. It also has a UPF rating. So the idea of a UPF rating is that when obviously the sun and the UV rays beating down on the tent, which is literally the one destroyer, the main destroyer of tents, and the UPF rating allows, again, it to just withstand those UV rays a lot more and give it a much more durable sort of life cycle. Okay, so the other main selling point of this range of tents, and it's said in the name, Sentinel Eco tents, the actual material they use for these tents is recycled plastics. So that's amazing, considering the environmental challenges we're having at the moment. Having a big brand like Vango going into eco plastics and using them for the materials of their tent is brilliant. Like, definitely a thumbs up from me for that. That's brilliant. It's a good step in the right direction for sure. The other factors that this comes with, the other features in the tent, it obviously comes with the nightfall darkened bedrooms, which is the same as the Experience range. You've got those diamond crystal clear windows again, so you can see that in this in here. They're really easy to see through. They're really good quality. And then let's have a look at the tent itself. So running through on the side of the tent, you can also see that we've got lower lying vents, again allowing a bit more air ventilation through the tent. And then let's go into the tent itself and have a look at this tent. So this is the Duro 600. So again, 6-man tent. It's called the Duro 600 XL because it's got that extra portion on it. So XL generally in these Vango tent ranges means it's just got an extra sized living area. Again, it's that really classic frame in terms of tent layout. You've got the bedrooms at the back, living area, and then your porch area with the porch door. like a winner all the way around. And then moving into the tent itself. So tent door at this range, you get on the side door, you get the mesh on the door itself. Like I said earlier, you get your darkened bedrooms. These are all toggle in and out, so all toggle at the bottom. No zips running through any of these, but you do have the 3 compartments through it. You've got your TBS webbing straps on there, and then again you've got the lower line vents, and then in this midsection here you've got the mesh. You've got the mesh on the door, and then you've got this huge sort of opening door that runs right the way to the end, again to give you a nice big space. And then you do have the curtains at the front here as well on these 2 front windows to give you a bit of privacy. So this comes in the Duro 600. This is XL. This is the poled version. It also comes in the Airbeam version, and it also comes in the 450 version that we looked at in the Stargrove. So the same sizing and the 450 Air. So you've got Duro 600 XL in the pole, Duro 600 XL in the Air, and then the 450, so the slightly narrower version that we looked at in the Stargrove in the pole and the Air as well. Okay, so moving from the Duro, the next one in the range is the Ether. So this is the Ether 600. So this is, again, it's an XL model, so you've got the extra pole, so you've got the extra large living area. The main differences between the Duro and the Ether are, like, you can see it straight away. Obviously there's no front porch door, but there is a little bit of area that you can sort of use for your cooking. If you don't want that door obstruction, you know, when you're getting in and out at night, you don't want that extra zip, you've just got a bit of extra space for cooking and leaving stuff outside it and when you're walking into the main tent. So layout is similar, but without that front porch door. You've got the fabric mesh on the door here with a nice big window. Obviously this window is now gone on to completely waterproof sort of plastic window rather than the mesh that you'd see in the Duro, because you've got the front door. And then moving into the back, you do only have the 2 compartments in this, so there isn't the 3 bedrooms. You do have a side door with the mesh and then the zip up windows and then the TBS running through it as well, and you've got a fully sewn in ground sheet. You can't obviously open up this door fully, but you do have the extra area at the front. I mean, personally for me and for quite a lot of our customers, something with the front door is more suitable for, you know, the climate that we have with the extra, you know, quite a lot of rain. But still, a lot of people do like this front open to use. So now moving through the range, on the right we've got the Tahiti Air 850. Unfortunately, this has been dropped. It's a big old tent, perhaps maybe a little bit big for the range that it was in. So we'll just move straight on to what we were talking about a minute ago. So this is the Duro Air 450, and this, so as it says in the name, this is the Airbeam version of the Duro in the 450 model. So it's completely the same layout as all the Duros. You come in and have a look at the size. You've obviously just got the 1 bedroom divider, dividing it into 2 pieces. You've definitely got enough room for 2 larger air beds in the back there, and then you've got because there's no XL on it, like I said, you've just got that 1 beam section area in the living, but perfect for like couples or couples and a dog, couples and a baby, and then you've got the extra side door on the side. Again, curtains in the front section here, but all toggle up at this range. Okay, and then this next one is the Aether, like we were saying with the 600. So the Aether 600, you get that in the Air or the poled. Same with the Aether 450 Air or the poled. This is the Air, but the front Airbeam, the front porch pole is in the Airbeam is fiberglass. And you can have a look inside. So you've got a nice big space. So this is again the XL because you've got that extra living area. And then moving into the back, you've got the 1 divider with space on either side for comfortably having 2 big double beds, and then the side door zips around, and the TBS running through it as well. Right, so moving on to the last tent in the range, the Osiris Air 500. So obviously a 5-man airframe tent. We actually had this in our range this year, and it sold really well because it is a really practical, good size tent. and obviously without the porch it's reflected in the price, so it's a really good value for money sort of airframe tent. Quick and simple to pitch, there's only the 3 beams. You've got space for 5 people in the back with 1 divider, so you've got a bedroom for 2 and a bedroom for 3. Drop down door, so no trip as you come in, easy access. You've got curtains on these front windows and the main windows, and then really like the little features that make it usable. This big cheese wedge front door that sort of sits out at an angle. Often people don't like them, especially in the sort of UK climate where it does rain a lot. If it rains, you get flooded in this front area. So you can shut this down, you've got a door on the side, and this door has a rain-safe porch, which makes life really, really useful. It was really useful in the sense that you can just open that up and get out that way when it isn't great weather. But all in all, just a really user-friendly, good value air tent, very easy pitching. With the villa construction as well, it just gives you that extra sort of headroom all the way through, so you can sort of stand most of the size, so it just gives you that extra sort of feeling of space within the tent. Okay, so one of the things that really caught our eye this year was the Tron hub, which is actually part of the same range that we've just been talking about. So it's the Sentinel Eco, so all the eco fabrics, still at the 70 denier with a 3000mm hydrostatic head and the colour lock. But one thing we've been noticing, we've been selling a lot more of, is these sort of like event shelters or gazebo style things. And this hits everything in terms of quick and easy to pitch, which is one of the main complaints of like the event shelters or the summer houses. They're just an absolute mission to put up because they've got so many steel frame sections to do, and in the wind they can be horrendous. So this is really quick, really simple, and just allows so much space inside of it. So it's actually got one central air beam that runs through the whole thing. So from here to the other side, it's just one big frame. So this is one of the 13 centimeter like massive thick tubes, and then if we want to come inside and have a look, all of these zip in as well, so you've got full coverage, so you've got basically walls on all sides. It's another kind of thing that when you buy an event shelter for maybe like 200 quid, you then got to factor in the fact that you're going to be buying extra walls, 60 quid for 2, another 60 quid to do the other 2 walls, so that's 120 quid, so that's already like 330 quid for a steel framed event shelter. This one comes in at around about 400 quid and has everything. So you've got all the doors, you can fully sort of undo that, you've got curtains on all of the mesh sections here, so lots of airflow through it, and it is, like I said, as simple as this main section here, and then you've got 2 adjustable king poles that fill in the sides, and then you can guy it out, and it just works really well. And the other thing that you can notice when you're inside, it comes with this ground sheet, is the fact that you can kind of stand all the way through it. It just makes, because of all the way all the corners are pegged up, it means you've got full standing height. I mean, for me, I'm 5'8", so I can obviously stand in this pretty easily. Maybe if you were like 6'6" or something, you're not going to be able to. But in terms of usable space, it is so much usable footprint, like, which makes this such a good area to sort of socialize, to have as your sort of social tent, like if you've got your tent next to it, and it makes so much sense. Even if you were using it in the garden, it's just a brilliant addition to your camping equipment. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so we're in a totally new range now. This is the Eco Juror, so we've moved from an Eco Sentinel into the Eco Juror. You'll notice that we still have a Duro in this new range, but it is a completely upgraded style of tent. So basically lots of new features. So Duro 450 Eco Juror, and it's got an SI after it, which means smart inflation. So we'll talk about that in a little minute, but whilst we can see the upgrades, we'll talk about the upgrades. So feature upgrades wise, we've obviously got storm straps on the front that are full webbing, so giving it a lot more structural stability. You've got the tinted windows, which again will make a huge difference on those hot sunny days, just lowering the temperature on the inside. You've got a much heavier duty waterproofing on it, so much more durable waterproofing. So you're moving up to a 4000mm hydrostatic head, and just generally a thicker coating of waterproofing. So again, that sort of the durability of the waterproofing will stay on it for a lot longer. You're still in an earth collection, so this is still using all recycled materials, which is again a great sort of thumbs up from this tent, just in terms of the work that Vango are doing to sort of obviously use plastic bottles to make their materials. But the most impressive thing about this tent is the smart inflation, and that runs through all the Eco Duro range. And the smart inflation basically runs through the side. So in the past we've had a lot of smart airs and other things from other companies that have sort of dwindled a little bit and been taken out because they haven't sort of measured the test of time. This one I think is different. So this one has a valve on each beam to let the air out of, still in the twist lock inflation, so there's nothing changing on the twist lock, so it's exactly the same valves that we're used to with Vango. And then you have a single valve on the front underneath it, which again is still that twist lock valve, but this one is the inflation. So all of these down are deflation, or you can use to inflate. If there's ever a problem with a beam and you need to replace one, you can use the same inflation method through this. But it's basically running all the way along the bottom, so you can't even see it. So there's nothing around the top here. There's no, you can't even see it when you walk in the tent. It all runs along the bottom on the inside here. And the idea behind it is, in here there's a little tube that comes out, runs down to the bottom there and has a T-junction. On the T-junction, there's non-return valves on each side. So when the air pushes through, the air can't return back through. So you're always pumping up each next beam at the same time. So basically, and you can see it in the video that we've done of it, the whole tent erects at the same time. It all goes up at the same time. And if there ever was, not that there would be, but if there ever was a problem with one of your beams, it doesn't matter, because the air keeps flowing through and then doesn't return back into that beam. So it keeps pumping up the beams at the same speed and at the same, well, yeah, it just keeps the pressure regular basically throughout the whole thing. So it's a really good system, especially for that person that isn't particularly confident about pitching tents, doesn't want to spend a lot of time pumping up a tent, not that it takes a lot of time, but just wants to arrive, unroll the tent, and ideally you know, if you've got one of these plug-in pumps that you literally can plug them into a power bank or plug them into your car, you press go on this front beam and it just goes up and inflates, and you're literally all in a wanna. It's amazing. Right, so you can obviously see the layout is exactly the same as the juror as we've talked about. So you've got obviously your front porch with your door, then your living area, and then your bedrooms. A couple of extra upgrades on these. You've obviously got the midnight bedrooms. So these are a thicker, darker version with your vents in it, and then you've got still your toggle dividers in that. You've got your vents running along the bottom. Still the toggle up curtains in this, but with that sort of nicer print fabric on them. Same door on this side with the mesh, and then the zip up window on the inside, and then again you've got the same here as well, where you've got a bit of mesh on the door as well, just to give you maximum airflow through. There's a last little upgrade, which is not that little in terms of how effective and useful they can be, is the bags that they've used on these. So with the bags, they sort of brought these into their higher end collection a couple of years ago, where you had these roller bags with the full sort of split down, and this just allows you, it's just an easy packing bag. So you roll the tent and make it to the same size, and then you roll it into the bag, and then you've got all of the buckles that you can just click in, secure the bag, and then close the bag up onto itself. So it just makes life a lot simpler. So a very simple but effective upgrade on the bag for this range of tents. Okay, so moving into the next tent in the Eco Duro collection. So this is actually moved from the Elite collection, which is no longer part of their range, into the Eco Duro range. This is the Roam 2 Air 550 XL. So it comes in the 650 XL, which is next door. 550. This was one of my favorite tents in terms of its design when they brought it out. It is a really great design. So real structured front, so lots of room as you walk in, nice big porch area. It doesn't come in at any point, so it just feels really, really wide and big in the front. It's got all the extra features like, you know, your webbing guy lines on the front here. You've got your really quick smart inflation. But the main selling features on the Roam is the fact that on one side you've got your nice big storage area, so you can keep the tent nice and tidy. You can use it even as a toilet if you wanted to. And then on the other side you've got your rain safe door, so quick and easy access out rather than coming through both of these doors if it was at night. But it's just a really big space, really well designed. I love this little storage area. So in here, so got a little divider, plenty of space in there for like a wardrobe, or like I said, you could put a porta potty in there. Inside the 550, it's a 2-bedroom, So you've got a divider, again toggle divider, with the 2 berth bedroom and a 3 berth bedroom in the midnight darker bedrooms. Feels really tall as well because you've got that villa construction going on, so you've got plenty of space, headroom all the way through. Just gives you a really good feeling of space. Tension band system running through it. Obviously, like I said earlier, you've got your sky tracks, and then the crystal clear windows that are slightly tinted to get a slightly darker feel and a cooler feel when it is sunnier. Other thing that I really like in these ones is these really low framed windows that run all the way down on that. It just, you know, it just gives a nice big feel to this front porch area, especially if you're using this for cooking if it's not very nice weather outside. It just makes everything feel nice and big inside of it. Door wise as well, this is the only version of a in this range where you can use it as king poled doors, so you can peg that out and you've got the little eyelets there to pull that out as an extra bit of sun canopy as well, which is really nice. Windows on the front of this as well, with windowed curtains, so you can have this fully private, this front section. And moving from 550, you're literally moving straight into the 650, which is basically the bigger version. So with the 650, you've still got your smart inflation down the side. The 650 does give it that little bit extra room than a 600. So if you're looking at Juror Air 600 compared to the Rome Air 650, it is that little bit wider. So this middle bedroom that we're going to walk into sort of through the middle is much wider, and then you've got your 2 separate bedrooms on either side, which are double berth still, but the middle one is that extra bit wider. Still got your storage space on the side, still got your rain safe door, but just the feeling of extra space in this, like this, yeah, perfect for sort of a bigger family. Plenty of space to sort of relax in this area, and then sort of cook in or relaxing in the front area. Still using the front door that you can pull out because you've got that double split in it that you can pull out, so you can use that as a rain canopy with some king poles. Okay, so that's a roundup of all of the tents for the Vango Summer 2022 collection. We hope you've enjoyed watching. We think there's some really good tents in there, especially this one next to us. If you've got any queries or you want any extra information on the tents themselves, then please just look at our website. All of our contact details are on there. You can either go to info@30.co.uk on email, or you can phone us on 01726 893010. We'd be really happy to assist you on any questions you've got. But thanks guys for taking the time to watch us, and have a great day.